San Marcos has a new police chief, and already he has some pretty big decisions to make. Activists are already urging him to enforce the cite and release ordinance, which was approved just this year. Back in May, San Marcos earned a place in Texas history, becoming the first city in the state to formally approve a cite and release ordinance. That policy gives officers discretion, when appropriate, to let some people get off the hook for certain eligible offenses.
Street diversions are permitted under Section 2 of the Cite and Release Ordinance.
Activists say this ordinance had the potential to keep certain minority groups out of jail during the pandemic. But when activists began digging deeper, filing information requests, they found internal messages they found troubling before the ordinance had even made it to the local council.
And that's where we found this document in which the Police Officers Association threatened to put people needlessly into the criminal justice system if the ordinance passed, simply because they didn't like it.
More troubling is more data they uncovered in the months following the approval of the ordinance.
Now that we've seen the data, street diversion, these verbal and written warnings, have diminished greatly, and we're very disturbed by that, and we're hopeful that the new police chief will stand up and ensure that the officers continue to issue verbal and written warnings and to knock off the nonsense.
Up until now, they've had nowhere, or rather no one, to take their grievances to. But with the swearing in of the new police chief, Stan Standridge, these activists are hoping for an open line of communication.
I hope that we're able to work with him to get meaningful change brought to our community and help keep our community members out of this COVID-infested jail.
And they feel they've got momentum on their side.
San Antonio, Houston, and Laredo are advocating to get a law passed as well.
Time, though, is of the essence. COVID cases continue to rise across the state, and activists hope officers will honor the ordinance to mitigate exposure risk at the local jail.
We look forward to having that conversation, that it might be productive in ending the needless resistance by the Police Officers Association, and ideally getting them to stop with the lies that seek to undermine this important ordinance that's now being emulated elsewhere across the state.
The ordinance is the law in the city. Activists now hope it will actually be applied.